Welcome to Team Unstoppable's Wednesday training. Tonight, we're going to talk about upgrading your identity, which goes hand in hand with limiting beliefs that we may have, some or a few, or I don't know if you're a unicorn, maybe like Susan Cameron, you have none of these limiting beliefs, but we will find out in just a few minutes. Okay, so tonight's training is around getting curious, right? If you're curious, I think you have a better opportunity to expand your own confirmation bias, your own thoughts. So we are going to get curious tonight about identity upgrades and limiting beliefs. Okay. Basically, what we're here to do, you guys, is support everybody with some business strategies, with some challenges. But at the end of the day, we don't want hype. We're not here to do hype. We're here to do sustainable results. So you've heard this before. If you haven't, it's the 3 C's: get curious, connect, and complement. But we're specifically going to talk tonight about precision probing. We're not going to sit around having conversations with people which have no intention or focus. We're going to talk about targeting your questions using possibly form, family, occupation, recreation, or money. That's been around forever and it's still effective, and helping people relive their pain. Okay. Do people want to get rid of their current pain or avoid pain in the future? It just depends. People are motivated differently. And we want to lead them through this journey so that they can kind of solve their own problem. It's better if people think it's their own idea, that you are not convincing them, and then to compliment them. Okay. In terms of what people might have done in the past, because things are acted on in life with the best resources you have in the moment, right? So you're trying to solve within the safest or healthiest mindset or ecosystem at the time, manage symptoms in a lot of cases, but we're going to help lead people through their own journey. And so there will be no convincing. Okay. If you're thinking right now, oh my God, I need to find someone who needs my product, I'm going to suggest that you get curious, reframe that. I'm here to understand what a person is experiencing and see whether I can connect them with something useful or not. So here are some labels that I have found uh, great excitement around. Recruiter does not work for me. If you're a great recruiter, go for it. But if you're not, here are some suggestions that you could identify with if you must label yourself. And if this is helpful, take a screenshot. We're not going to camp out on all these slides because we have a number of them, but some of these may be really helpful and motivate you around inviting, finding, advocating, whatever is your label. If you need to pick one, here's some different options. Okay, this is our lovely Debbie. I just threw her on this slide. So here's this internal mindset. We are mindset. We don't know what mindset means for everybody. I'm just going to put some words around that. In terms of a mindset, which could be helpful, I am not looking for people to sell to. I'm looking for people to understand. I really just want some conversations that can take a lot of pressure off tied to outcomes and performance. So let's talk about some precision probing. If somebody says, I'm exhausted all the time, instead of immediately thinking drops, sales, 4-pack, 10-pack, all of this, hey, that's interesting. Please tell me more. What does exhausted look like for you? Is it getting out of bed, afternoon crashes, feeling drained? How long has that been happening? And what have you already tried? What frustrates you the most about it? And what would change for you if you actually had your energy back? So, this precision probing is all geared around telling me more. Susan, is there anything else when we were talking earlier about questions around this that might be
And there
beneficial?
may be something that Susan Frank wants to add, or I feel like Shane is very good at this as well, question probing. But you guys, when you're asking these questions like, how long has that been happening? What have you already tried? A lot of times people will tell you their health issues, but that will lead them into giving you keys about what's going on with their form that Stephanie mentioned, which is their family, their occupation, their recreation. Like, I don't get to travel, I don't get to do anything, or maybe if I go on a trip and then I come home and I'm exhausted, or you could use M for marriage or money. But a lot of times in this questioning, people give you all kinds of information. And I've seen Susan Frank, and I've seen a lot of you guys who are great with presenting. You use that information during a presentation or during a pitch. You kind of wait and collect all that, because people love to talk about themselves. So is there anything, Susan or Shane, anybody wants to add? And Susan might be in a weird place. She might be in a restaurant or something, or where she can't eat.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm in a car full of people, but I just said shh.
She might be with all the kids. Be quiet, y'all. Be quiet.
But I'll say that's key, is just listen to people, ask them what they need, and then tell them, like, hey, like, after they say, just like I talked to somebody tonight, and she's like, I'm always tired, I don't sleep good, I need to lose 25 pounds. So then when I was talking about the product, I could say, hey, this addresses sleep, it helps with energy, it helps with weight loss, so it checks all the boxes of what you need. So just reiterating back to them, we can address those issues and help you take care of them.
Very good. Very simple. Very easy, you guys. Speak back, clarify, and say what they have said to you.
One thing I've had luck with is complimenting them, because usually people are negative about themselves and they think negatively. So when you say, I mean, you look like you're in pretty good shape. I've seen you do this. They'll say, no, no. And then they'll tell you why. They'll usually give you a whole paragraph or more about the why. If you just compliment them and then listen, they're going to give you the why.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, sir. Okay. So we get so caught up, I think, in the symptoms, right? I mean, it's blasted all over our slides. So we're introducing this tonight to help you be a little more expansive in terms of getting off of just the symptoms. Let them experience and feed it back to you. And whether it's frustration or disappointment, whatever it is, let them sit with that and kind of rebirth that with you. Then you have the opportunity to potentially discuss some consequences, right? Of either moving from the pain now or avoiding pain in the future. And ultimately, I think we all know what the desired outcome is that we're going to be offering, right? To help people. But it does start with letting them sit in some of their pain points. But again, the symptoms are not necessarily the pain points, right? The pain point may be, I don't recognize myself anymore. That was certainly how I felt. And a lot of women say that, okay? So they can recognize snapping at their spouse, definitely avoiding pictures because they don't feel good, or standing in the back line, shoving somebody in front of them, right? Or, you know what? I've seen this before. This is really just what aging feels like, right? And I just don't have much energy for my kids or grandkids. I've tried everything. I've got battle fatigue. I've tried 60 different diets, and that was just in a couple of years. And now I'm on to peptides, right? So what we really want to do is stir up and bring out all of, now I'm not on peptides, you guys, but all of these different actual pain points. So get curious, ask, make sure you listen, attempt to understand where they're coming from. Probably most of us can understand all of these things, if not the majority. Then is the opportunity to educate, but not vomit on them. Connect with them, to Shane's point, compliment. Then they decide. They have to feel empowered that they're deciding. You're not selling, they're not convincing. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about the mindset of where we are right now in terms of growing our business. I have this up here on purpose. Susan, Cameron, would you like to speak to why I have the 10 pack and the 30 pack up here?
Yeah, I absolutely would. And we've got somebody on here that may want to even chime in who's been a huge builder at another company, Lindy. But before we go on to that, you guys, that last screen that Steph just had, like when people are, oh, you know, I'm feeling tired, you know, kind of my cravings are back, or, you know, I have cravings, or I avoid pictures. My question to you tonight is this you? Is this you repping a weight loss product, right? A hormone balancing product, and you kind of get in a rut? Because over and over for you or your team, and I'm preaching to the choir on this 2.5 year journey, but I came into this this with a lifelong eating disorder. I mean, lifelong binge eating, gain 20 pounds, lose 30 pounds, gain, all over the board. So while I have, thank goodness, went down on the drops and the products and continue to lose weight, I'm not saying that it's never been a struggle. And that's why I've like looped a lot of y'all in, like, let's do another program, like, let's all commit and all of that, because I'll see it in our businesses. The more we stay committed, the more we lock into each other. If you're struggling right now, coming out of PXP, recommit to your health today, for starting tomorrow, because the more that you're on track and the more that you feel confident to show up in the pictures and show up whenever you go out with your girlfriends and make and guy friends, to make those healthy choices, I just see it totally add to your business. Do you have anything to add about that, Susan, Frank? Because sometimes to get a brand partner kind of going again, the first thing I ask them is I say, how are you doing with your food? How are you doing with your program? And sometimes what I need to do is just come around y'all and show you support. Steph and I did this last week for a lady who's got crazy potential, and she had just fallen off, and she had life happen. And so we said, okay, we're going to lock in with you. Guess what? She lost 6 pounds this week. Yay, we know the products work. The products always work. It's never the products, it's always us. So do you have anything to add to that, Susan?
Yeah, that's the key thing, is so many people will go to the negative. So when somebody starts complaining or saying, yeah, it's really not working or whatever, no, they're not working. And if you can get on the phone with them and say, okay, if you just tweak this little thing, and I always start with, what are you putting in your coffee? Like the littlest thing, take them out of fat burning mode. So if you can do education around them and get them back on track and cheer them along and help them along. And I know Wanda might have a add into this, but a lot of people, just like you, have struggled with weight, and just they look amazing, but they might not feel like they look amazing. So just helping people along their journey. And I know Vanali is a really big deal to me, because when I take Vanali, it really helps my skin along with Everglow. So that's made a big difference in how I feel like my appearance looks as far as my skin, because I had sun damage with white spots, and that combo has really helped me be more confident in my own skin.
Great point. Thank you, Susan. And I believe it was Arlene had a guy this week that we talked to, and the guy just kept eating bad at night. He just kind of started losing it at night. And so she really wanted to help him. And so what we did is we had him message her. He's messaging her every night now, saying kitchen closed after he eats dinner, because he was staying up, like, he just retired, so he was in a new season, so he was staying up until like 12 or 1 or 2. So anyway, we're going to check back around with him. So stay in contact with your clients, you guys, because they bought these products from you because they want results, like they want a shift and a difference. And so, yeah, the next slide that Steph showed is the 10-pack and the 30-pack. And a lot of people here, they come to talk to you and they say, yeah, I really want to make a business. I really want, to make an income. And so actually it was kind of Lindy and Lindy's team that sparked this for me, where I really just, I'm showing the 10-pack and the 30-pack now more than the 4-pack, because they want to get to ultimate, they want to get to top pay for life, and it's really hard sometimes to get people from that 200 PV all the way up to 1500 PV. Lindy, do you want to unmute and say anything about that, kind of your perspective with it?
Yeah, so I kind of felt like, not that 3 options were too many, but coming from a previous network marketing company where there are, anything more than 2 options for people, even customers. So if you're offering, this goes for customers too. If you're offering them more than 3 options, so whenever I started here, I just did 3 bundles, because I did drops only, and then drops and advantage, and then drops advantage renew, because those were the 3 products that I was taking. And it also gives people 3 different price points, but the 2 price points for the 10-pack and the 30-pack, I felt like, okay, those are, and if people are still like, hey, I can't afford the 10 pack, then I'll offer them the 4 pack. But it also helps them to feel like it's more doable for them to get to Ultimate, in my personal opinion, if they start with a 10 or a 30 pack. Um, so that's where I started, just offering the 1030 because I did have quite a few people when I first started join with the 4 pack, but they still ended up grabbing either a 10 or a 30 pack to hit ultimate or, had somebody join their business, but it was just easier to give them more confidence to sell and they make more profit that way. So that was getting people to make money quickly is what I really like.
Absolutely. And yeah, Regina, we are going to get to the 8, 8, and 8. We love that pack. So we definitely offer that. And I will say that Lindy and Cheryl Pike on this call had experience because they were bringing people into 4. And guess what? They got everybody, as Cheryl hit diamond, every one of those got to ultimate. Give her a round of applause. That is freaking amazing. So we're not just looking to build with 200 points and, oh, we made it. Hallelujah. Like they were still looking to, we're growing a business. I know Jennifer's on here. She got to Ultimate. Good job. Celebration. She's rocking it out, showing up on social media every day, glowing, doing the things. Your transformation's incredible. So is that good for what you wanted us to say on that, Steph? And anything
Yeah, well, that rolls us right into the next piece of beliefs that limit. Okay, so what Susan and Lindy just shared might be blowing your mind. So here are just some things to think about, you guys. And I'm going to move pretty quickly, and then we're going to get to product. But take a screenshot because you will absolutely find yourself in some of these statements. I don't want to bother people. So I've highlighted the negative limiting beliefs that can affect you growing your business to whatever level you choose, right? Because you have to select that. And then the reframe is in the parentheses, okay? Not the parentheses, is in the quotation marks, okay? So I don't want to bother people of asking about someone's struggle is intrusive. I'm trying to sell them something. That is a big one for our population. If they say, no, I failed, I need them to want what I have as if that's tied to your personal identity. I need to have all the answers. So these are just some different areas that you can identify what your limiting beliefs are. We're not going through all this tonight, okay? Just to prompt you, because if you can uncover and reframe what your limitation is, even to closing a 10 pack, if 30 is too big, okay, maybe not. Then uncover the beliefs, reframe them so that you can get to where you want, because money to some extent does love speed. You do need momentum. It is important. Everybody here on our team can help you with that. Okay. And then this is just the last set of limiting beliefs. Okay. Just to prompt you, this is work that you can do on your own. You're very capable of this. Okay. Again, people are responsible for their own decisions, and if they're going to follow through and all of that, we're responsible for the quality of this conversation and how we stir it up for them. So instead of thinking, who can I recruit? Who needs a job? Blech. My suggestion and offering is become curious, okay, about all of the other questions in the listening to find out what's going on for them in their life right now. Because if you can create a safe space to have this sharing and conversation, you got a shot at connecting and really blowing it up and making an impact. Now we'll move to the product portion of the training with Susan and Susan. Cameron, are you kicking this off or are we doing?
So I'll just address MOA real quick. If anybody has trouble with inflammation, it's amazing. And I know my son, my 9-year-old loves MOA, and he got a cold at the beach last time we were here, and he was like, I want my MOA, I want my MOA. And as soon as I put him on Noni, but he loves MOA better. And as soon as we got home, he had his MOA and his cough and congestion was gone. So I'm not saying we cure, treat, or diagnose anything, but I can tell you that if people have trouble with joints or any kind of pain like that with the anti-inflammatory ingredients, it really makes a difference. It also has the mushrooms, which are people are on Search, and it's the most inexpensive to get all of the ingredients in it that I found. So here she's showing you pictures of people that have taken Moa and just the difference in inflammation and how they.
And Steph, go back to that one just real quick. So this lady right here, you guys, Todd Rowland, next slide. Todd Rowland met her, and she was basically bound to her chair. She had never went to her grandkids' ball games or anything, and Todd told her the clinical dose when you have this type of inflammation and pain is 3 MOA a day. He said buy at least a 10-pack, because when you buy a 10-pack, that gets the price down to $65 a box, which is really great. And that is her results 20 days after. And there she is standing up, telling her testimony. I'm sure she ended up joining the business. And I think it was her son, that might be her son in the background. He was crying, telling Todd that his mom had never been able to go to any of his children's games. So that's just life changing. So you can even use this testimony to share. And I think Emily has her husband here who has had incredible results with Moa that he was going to chime in. Emily, is he on standby?
He's right here.
Yeah, hello.
What's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Good.
Sorry if I've had a long, rough night from the cat keeping me awake downstairs last night. Yeah, I've had great results from MOA. On June 15th of this year, I was in a really severe car accident. I was T-boned, and my car looks like it,
Like a tin can that got smushed.
yeah, it looks like a tin can that got smushed or a Coke can that got smashed. I'm lucky to be alive right now. Anyway, so I spent basically 7.5 days at the hospital.
And he had surgery on his
Had
ribs.
surgery on my ribs because I had ended up with 5 broken ribs. 3 of them got dislodged. They were looking like this.
They were out of
I don't know if you
whack.
can see my hands or not, but they were
Displaced is what they
displaced
called
really
them.
bad. Honestly, I didn't see my chest or my rib cage area for like the whole time I was there. Left to go take a shower at the hospital, and I don't know if you all watched professional wrestling as a kid, but I looked like one of the guys who used to get beat up for $20 on the TV shows. I just looked that bad, like black and blue for my entire left side.
His
and
bruising
everything.
was awful. I should put that. I'll put that in the chat here in a second.
And then as soon as we got home, Emily started making me MOA with Noni and
Well, we just did Moa and Noni at first. Plus, he's on the Optimal M and Magna Cal D, because those are really, really good for bones and nerves and all that kind of stuff. So we started doing that. We were doing 2 MOA in the morning and 2 MOA in the evening, because when he got home, he was on Oxy, which messed with his heart. Then they put him on a different pain med, and he still didn't like it. And he was on muscle relaxers. And after a week on those at home, he was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. So we were 4 MOAs a day for the first month or so with Noni. And then when we went back to the surgeon, he said there was still some fluid on his lungs. So we added some of the limu, because the seaweed is good for respiratory stuff. And so to help get that fluid out of there. But the MOA is for pain for you has been incredible.
Yeah, whenever I've had like a rough patch, or like they basically wanted me to start working out almost the day after the surgery, which I've been doing. And if I say take it too hard, if you will, I will go out and take a MOA patch. Within about a half hour, it takes the edge off of what I've been doing.
It really works.
So
and you guys, I'll send a picture in the chat. His bruises disappeared as soon as when he left the hospital. He was like solid purple, black and blue colored on his left side. He came home on June 23rd, and I took the picture on July 2nd. He had no bruises on his side at all. Y'all, that's just a miracle, because bruising like that doesn't go away overnight, like at all. So but I'll send that in the chat. But the MOA is a game changer for
That's
him.
amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. We're glad you're doing so much better. We've heard a lot about you. It's nice to finally put a face to you.
So what was that?
I said it was good to finally see his face.
Okay. And so we stay on track. Someone had asked about, remember the 8x8x8 with the MOA, Susan?
Yes.
So this is in alignment with not limiting, right? If we're thinking about building our business and how we can get someone started and then very excited and enthusiastic to get to that ultimate right out of the gate. Susan, this option is great because why?
Well, because one, especially if you have somebody that needs more clinical dosage, is 2, 3, 4 in a day. So this will give them several months. This is also a great pack for a husband-wife couple. It's going to give them 4 months. They can, sample a few of the MOA or the Renews out to their friends. And I'm not a big sampler. I don't give samples really, but Renew, I do see you guys that when I give several days samples of Renew, a lot of times people come back and they buy from me. MOA is kind of hit or miss, but I'm kind of mixed bag about that. But this is also the least expensive way to get somebody in as Ultimate. So you get somebody in for $19.99 with that pack. And people, this trifecta pack, my husband has been on these 3 products forever. He'll go on and off the drops depending on kind of what's going on for him and his, bodybuilding type goals. But I'm telling you, those 3 products together, that's life-changing for people. You're addressing sleep, you're addressing inflammation and pain, and all the hormone balance, appetite suppression, all, mood stabilization with the drops.
And we'll cover Renew next time. Next week, we're going to be at PXP. But just as a reminder, in terms of our own alignment, as Susan pointed to earlier, not just the drops, but maybe on some of the other products, set up your own auto ship, order your own MOA, go ahead and encourage customers to get involved with MOA with this product education. But understand I just lifted these to give you an idea. I mean, MOA is we have the term hero product. I would say it's we have more than one hero product at Partner Co. But in terms of MOA, these are just some examples of different packs that we can offer people. It's amazing. You don't have to memorize all this stuff. I just did some screenshots, but be very aware there's so many ways to help people by bundling MOA at all different PVs and all different price points to help people reach their goals, you guys. Okay, Miss Susan or Susan, did y'all have anything else to add about MOA? PXP, anything?
No, I think MOA, like if you guys have, especially even the ladies that have went through, that they're in the menopause state and they really have a lot of inflammation and pain, you'll hear a lot of that. I know that Shane's wife was on the drops and she got quite a bit of relief, but when she added MOA, I mean, it was in a day. She was like, wow, I'll never, I won't go without this product. This is life-changing for my pain and inflammation. Also, anybody with autoimmune, kind of like we're all about to start traveling, like take your MOA. I've gotten a little bit slack recently over the last week. I'm like, why have I not been taking it, 1 to 2 a day every single day? So don't miss the MOA. It's great for autoimmune. And so many times too, if you're talking to people that are on GLP-1s, because that is reality, a lot of people are on GLP-1s now, and they think like our products really aren't going to serve them. Totally not true. The MOA and the Vital One and the Noni are huge for the nutritional gaps. I talked to a lady a few days ago, and she said she thought she might only be eating 300 to 500 calories a day, you guys, on her GLP. 300 to 500 calories. Think about the nutrition. So if they just have a pouch and a drink, so really start talking to them about, hey, do you feel that you're lacking nutrition since you started your GLP-1? Oh yeah, well great, I've got a superfood pouch that'll give you 36 of the best superfoods in a little pouch, 2 ounces, since you have no appetite. So that's just a thought. But excited to see everybody at PXP. I guess we will not be having the call next Wednesday night because everybody will be traveling. And you guys, we had shirts that everybody ordered. If you didn't get a shirt, everybody's wearing the color pink, so grab a pink shirt and we'll arrange a picture there. And who would like to? Oh, next week is the 26th. Are we a week off, Lindy? We think we're going sooner than we are. Kim Weber's laughing.
Thank you. Thanks,
Weber,
Lindsay.
Kim
That's
Weber's.
great.
Y'all keep us straight. We're like, we're going to see everybody. So this means you guys don't stop working. Like we still have 2 weeks to do a lot of work and even invite a few more people. Is there anybody that wants to pray us out tonight? Anybody who's wanting to pray? I know somebody's wanting to pray.
I will.
Okay, perfect. Who said that?
Wanda,
Perfect, Miss Wanda. We love you.
love you too. Lord Jesus, I thank you tonight for your mercy and your goodness and the way that you're blessing our minds to absorb these educational Zoom calls. You're blessing our bodies to absorb the amazing products that we are using. And then you are blessing our minds and our hearts to share them with people that need them. I pray tonight that you would give everyone good sleep, give us peace and health in every part of our body, mind, physical, spiritual, mental, financial, relationships. I bless everyone on this call from the top of their head to the sole of their feet. Let them feel your power, your confidence, and your approval in their lives. In the name of Jesus, we love and praise you. Amen.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you guys so much. And we'll have this recording on Team Unstoppable YouTube tomorrow for everybody.